Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, so I finally caught up with Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2, and I gotta say, even though I really enjoyed the first season, I really was not enjoying this one until we got to the current episode, episode 6, and that's mostly because of the fact that I read this first arc that they handled in the anime, in the manga, and the entire time I was watching the first 5 episodes, I was constantly comparing the content they were cutting out and they were giving us in the anime to what we got in this arc in the manga. And I feel like that's the problem that the majority of the people who did not enjoy this first few episodes, this first arc had with the anime, that they were constantly comparing it either to the manga or the original light novel, and seeing all the content that was cut and changed, and basically just saying, well, they didn't 100% copy and paste the original content and put it in anime format. Which, again, I understand as someone who's actually a fan of the manga. I haven't read a light novel, but I'm a fan of the manga, and I can tell that there's a lot of content they changed and cut out that was not in the anime. Like, for starters, the three heroes besides Naofumi, the bow hero, the spear hero, and the sword hero, they were supposed to be involved in this arc more than they were. And they also ended up making a huge change in the anime to the fight between the Spirit Turtle and Victoria, because in the manga, Victoria actually grew to the same size as the Spirit Turtle, and the two of them had basically a giant kaiju fight. But when it comes down to it, those were basically just superficial changes that don't really affect the overall story of the arc. The biggest change that people seem to have a problem with is the fact that the arc is mostly focusing on Rishia and giving her character development. And I feel like a lot of fans didn't enjoy that aspect of this arc, mostly because it took away attention from Raftalia and Philo and Naofumi. But we gotta remember, we had a whole season devoted solely to those three characters and basically developing them and showing us their character journey. We only got introduced to Rishia at the very tail end of season 1. I think she was introduced at the very last episode. She's a brand new character being introduced to the party, and it was actually kind of smart for the writers to try to give her entire character journey, or basically develop her character this quickly in the first 6 episodes. Because if they took the entire season to develop her to the point where she was at the end of this episode, fans would have been more annoyed with her than they already are. And you know what? Regardless of how you felt about her in the first few episodes, I feel like the moment she got in episode 6 when she was fighting off against Kyo really made the entire journey that we got with her pay off. Now, that being said, even though we did get to see her be more assertive and more confident in this episode, I know in the next episode we're going to see her going back to her more timid self, and that's mostly just because that's her character trait. That's what her character is. She's very timid and shy and not confident. But we now know that when push comes to shove, she can call in that confidence and that inner strength and basically push forward as the character we saw in this episode. We also got the character journey of Oast, the brand new other character that we got introduced to in the season, and yeah, she was kind of just there for the short while to die, but I feel like the entire journey we got with her, even though I wasn't really enjoying it up until episode 6, again, when it comes down to her big moment in this episode, it really makes the entire journey we went on with her in this arc kind of worth it. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I started getting emotional when we realized that she was actually going to force Naofumi in destroying the core, which actually would end up killing her. And then when it came to everyone giving her final goodbyes and them going into the portal, that almost made me cry. So yeah, when it comes down to all the focus that these two characters got throughout this entire arc, which I saw as being the main reason why a lot of people were complaining about the first 5 episodes, I feel like episode 6 really made the entire thing feel complete and actually made the entire journey that we had with those two characters worth it. And I mean, it's not like they're the only two characters that really got focused in this arc. Now, Fumi got a lot of development in this arc as well. We got to see him develop as a great leader and tactician, and we got to see that he actually is starting to put away his hatred that he had for the majority of the first season, which is mostly stemming from the fact that he's now seeing that because, Bitch and the other heroes aren't getting in his way, people are actually starting to see that he actually is a genuine hero and actually starting to respect him. And because of that, his hatred started to go away. At the end of this episode, Naofumi has to use the hatred shield that he developed in the last season in order to destroy the spirit core while they're fighting against the book hero Kyo. But because he's actually grown past his own hatred and is feeling more sad by the fact that he's actually going to have to kill someone he's now developed a kind of close relationship with and actually sees as a comrade, Oast, he's hesitant to do it, and he actually can't draw on the power of the hatred shield, which actually ends up developing him getting a brand new shield that is actually almost as powerful or just as powerful as the hatred shield, and doesn't actually have any drawbacks like the hatred shield does with his curse. Again, showing huge development for Naofumi not only power-wise, but as a character growing out of his hatred and becoming more in touch with his other emotions. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much all there is to talk about when it comes to episode 6 and the entirety of the first arc of Shield Hero Season 2. I mean, I gotta say, my still major drawback or major complaint about this entire arc, or really just this last episode in general, is that they changed the giant kaiju fight between Victoria and the Spirit Turtle. I was actually really looking forward to that fight. It's disappointing that she didn't turn into her giant size. Although we didn't really get to see much of the fight in the manga, but I was hoping that if they actually did animate that fight, they would extend on it. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. I really do hope you all enjoyed it. I give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. And when it comes down to the entire arc in general, I originally was going to say like a 6.5 to a 7, but after thinking about it again for this video, I'm going to give it a solid 8. I think this entire arc was a solid 8, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season has to offer. But that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.